It is 8 p.m. alongside my co-moderators, Maria
Candidates on stage tonight were selected based on their force. At center stage, businessman Donald Trump. Neurosurgeon Dr. Ben Carson.
Florida Senator Marco Rubio. Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush.
John Kasich.
It sounds like a game show, but it's not. Now, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the elephant in the room, and I'm not talking about your place. I'm talking about the
Excuse me.
Mr. Trump.
I can't be, Neil. And the reason I can't be is that we are a country that wins. Thank you.
Dr. Carson, where are you?
Well, first of all,
excuse me, sit down. You weren't called. Excuse me, sit down. You weren't called. Excuse me, sit down.
Senator Rubio, you called the
I've said many times before, my parents were never rich people.
A night of giveaways,
I've said many,
including free health care.
I've said many times before, my parents were never rich people.
And if we do that, we've asked people on Facebook to submit their questions for the candidates. Seth Bell wrote, "We are dead. What specific steps will you take to balance the budget?"
First of all, let me just say that in the state of acting executive on the stage today, we do have a moderate increase in the minimum wage. And I got to tell you,
Senator Cruz, the International Monetary Fund recently cut its expectations for economic growth. Many economists expect a recession to hit the U.S. within the next year due to the weakening of manufacturing. The next president will have to deal with it. You say tax reform
Well, Maria, it's great to be with you. It's great to be here in Milwaukee. You know, the question you asked really, I think, is the most important question
Senator Cruz.
any of us can face, which is how do we get the economy growing? How do we bring back
Senator
economic
Cruz,
growth?
the international
Because economic
Senator
growth,
Cruz.
its foundation.
Governor Bush.
yeah, I would like to make a comment.
You've already made 2 comments, John. It's my turn.
We have more questions for you, Governor Kasich, coming up. We have more questions for you, Governor Kasich.
I got about 4 minutes
point,
last debate. I'm going to get my question right now.
I appreciate it, Jeb. I'm all for you. But I want at some point talk about a value-added tax and $11-12 trillion tax cuts that will put our kids way deeper in the hole than they have been at this point. So I'd like to talk about it at some point, because that's what leadership is.
We will certainly get to that. Governor
John.
Bush,
Yeah.
almost 40% of Americans are without a job and are not looking. Many have given up.
First of all,
That's
we
what
could
the
get to 4%
participation rate
growth.
tells us. You've said
Excuse me.
your policies
Excuse me.
I
will
was so
drive the
happy
economy back to
yesterday when I saw
4%
that
growth,
I'm going to get my
which we
question right.
haven't
I'm going
seen
to get
since
my
the year
question right now.
2000. What specific regulations would you change, and how will that lead to jobs and growth?
yesterday when I saw that decision come down. That was an unbelievable decision. And we don't have enough of those decisions coming down.
First of all, we could get to 4%.
We don't have enough of those decisions coming down.
The new normal of 2% puts huge demands on government. The reason why we have structural deficits
Does it matter at all that the gap between the rich and everyone else is widening?
The reason why we have structural deficits
Absolutely, and I think that we ought to look where income inequality seems to be the worst.